My dear viewers, this is a new edition of Africa Today. My name is Aman Mukhtar. I have the pleasure to be with you in the coming 30 minutes. Well, Islamic Conference Cairo took part in the 15th Islamic Summit Conference that took place in the Gambian capital, Bangkok, which is held under the title of Boosting Unity and Solidarity via Dialogue to Achieve Sustainable Development. Addressing the event, Cairo called for a decisive stance against the illusions of liquidating the Palestinian cause via displacing the Palestinians from the Gaza Strip and the West Bank. More in the following report.
Delivering Cairo's speech at the 15th Islamic Summit Conference in the Gambian capital Bangkok, Shukri stressed that Egypt calls for a decisive stance against the illusions of liquidating the Palestinian cause via displacing the Palestinians from Gaza and the West Bank. He warned of the Israeli planned assault on Rafah, highlighting that Egypt is the biggest donor of aid to the besieged enclave since the start of the Israeli bloody war, yet the occupation authorities are illegally blocking aid's safe entrance. Shukri added that the only way to achieve peace is to establish an independent Palestinian state on the borders of 1967 with Al-Quds as its capital. He congratulated Gambia on presiding over this round of the conference. The event is held under the title of Boosting Unity and Solidarity via Dialogue to Achieve Sustainable Development.
Well, to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have with us over the phone our dear guest, Mr. Rahman, journalist and political analyst. Good afternoon, sir.
Well, good. Hello to you and the dear viewers.
Thank you so much. Mr. Rahman, how did you see the timing of the 15th Islamic Conference this year with the participation of Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri and the word by Egypt?
Well, this is a significant time for such summit. Confronting the large-scale confrontations and threats all over the Islamic world. I believe that the greatest challenge for those who are contributing and in this summit is to make it clear to the whole world that Islam is not the enemy, and there are agendas that tried to duplicate an artificial, I would call it an artificial Islam based on making terroristic organizations that falsely spoken for Islam, but Islam is innocent from such agendas and such organizations. Those organizations were made and masterminded, and those agendas were masterminded by Western Anglo-Saxon intelligence. Those are the true enemy, not just for Islam, but the whole religion, but the whole world, to whole humanity. This is the great task such Islamic summit should confront. And I believe that Egypt has accomplished a lot in declaring to the whole world that we are behind and we are supporting the humanitarian concept of Islam. The most civilized religion and the most civilized nation, as in Egypt, we have given a symbol on how we treat nations, other religions, other countries with peace, with most civilized way. And I believe also that we can reach an understanding, a common understanding that we can deliver to the whole world, speaking on one front, as one front, one sound, one word, which is we need for the whole world to realize and to wake up. As we have witnessed, the whole world is waking up, realizing who is the true the criminal in the Arab Zionist conflict, and the whole world now realizing that in Palestine, this is an Arabic occupied land by the Zionist existence that tried to do each and every media false and lie to force false understanding to the now the nations are awakening up from such false claims. The same should be applied on defending the true meaning of Islam. That the true Islamic nations should defend and this initiative to make it clear to the world that this is the religion of peace and civilization, spread it to the whole world.
Yes, Mr. Abdurrahman, now the Islamic conference have started since the year 1969, now nearly 75 years, and since it started, the problem or the Palestinian cause is still going on until now. Now the Palestinian affairs was high on the agenda of the summit this time, of course, with Egypt and the speech by Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry warning from the displacement and of the Palestinians, and that there should be a ceasefire, and from the liquidation of the cause. So how did you read this?
Well, from such intelligent remark that you have mentioned, let me answer this question by two sides. The first side, look at the timing of the first, which was 1969. Right afterwards, 2 years of the invasion, the Zionist invasion to Jerusalem, which was the city of peace for all religions, for all nations, for all citizens from each and every country in the whole world to come and visit and live in peace. On the contrary, after the Zionist Ashkenaz occupation to Jerusalem, look how the whole world is witnessing genocide, massive displacement to the Arabs who lived this land since more than 9,000 years.
Yes.
Look at the difference between when Jerusalem was the Islamic and the Arabic rule, and when it was under the Zionist occupation. That occupation that was supported by the Western Anglo-Saxon powers. Look at the difference, and you will feel and see how great difference between this and that. Second, as for today, we are witnessing a crucial stage and a crucial era and a crucial period of time that we are witnessing the most brutal crimes against humanity in Gaza. And of course, the whole world is all united. I'm speaking about the nations. The whole world is united behind the Arabic rights in Gaza Strip and in Palestine. That is, I consider it all under occupation or under siege. From this concept, we need to give the chance to the Islamic world to take an action to declare the right side of Islam, which open heart and open arms for all nations all around the world. We were never an occupying force, and we were never spreading Islam with force. We were always in the golden time of humanity. I believe that Mr. Sameh Shoukry, our great our great Minister of Foreign Affairs, have a lot to say about this, and he has declared it once and twice and more than time that the Islamic world is so much away, so much far from any occupation of terrorism or so-called terroristic crimes. We are not represented in any way in Egypt or in any Islamic country by such organization, starting from the non-Muslim Brotherhood that was created by the MI6 until ISIS.
Yes. Mr. Abdurrahman, how is it, you spoke about the challenges facing the Islamic countries, so how is it important for the Islamic nations to boost cooperation before the current global challenges?
I believe there is no such common base we can build upon except for two concepts, which is economical cooperation, that is the language of the world today, and of course the civilized talks, the civilized contribution answer, thinking that we are all should be gathering around. We need to revive the culture of humanity, the culture of forgiving, the culture of reaching out a one solid understanding that we can all gather around despite any differences. There is no Sunni and Shia. There is no such thing as any names that claimed all over history. We should be gathering around one concept, which is the human concept of Islam, that can be represented in too many fields, politically, economically, and diplomatically. And we should gather, unite our forces, not in a hostile way, but in a peaceful way and a defensive way, to take a stand against any aggression to the occupied Arabic land or any land in the name of terrorism, or that was created by the enemies of humanity, for they are enemies to Islam.
Yes. Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information, Mr. Amr Abdurrahman, the journalist and the political analyst. Thank you very much for joining us over the phone. Ladies and gentlemen, a short break and I'm going to be back with you.
نحن لدينا مصير مشترك.
مصر تسلمت الرئاسة الدورية للاتحاد الإفريقي لعام 2019 وتتطلع كعادتها دوما للتعبير عن شواغل الشعوب الإفريقية الشقيقة الرامية لتحقيق الاستقرار والتقدم ودفع عجلة التنمية قدما. إذا كنتم ترغبون في تغيير وجه القارة الأفريقية، فالاتحاد الافريقي كقيادة تستطيع ان تعمل وتدرس بشكل مركزي لمشروع عملاق لبناء بنية اساسية على مستوى القارة. انا اتصور ان الامن والاستقرار استثمار. اذا لم تستقر هذه القارة والامن فيها بمعدلاته عالية، هذا الامر سينعكس بالسلب علينا كلنا.
Well, Tanzania said tropical cyclone Hidaya that had triggered heavy rains and winds on its way to the country is no longer a threat as it approaches. The storm had caused much heavier rainfall than normal in the coastal areas, but no casualties or damage were reported. Details in a following report.
Tanzania said a cyclone that made landfall on Saturday has lost its strength and was no longer a threat to the country. Tropical cyclone Hidayah had triggered heavy rains and winds as it rolled towards Tanzania and neighboring Kenya, countries already battered by torrential downpours and floods that have left more than 400 people dead across East Africa in recent weeks. In a statement published early Sunday on X, the Tanzania Meteorological Authority said that Hidayah had completely lost its strength after making landfall on Mafia Island in the Indian Ocean on Saturday. Beaches on the Indian Ocean coast were deserted, shops were closed, and marine transport suspended in the country as it braced for the cyclone. As it approached, the storm had caused much heavier rainfall than normal in coastal areas, but no casualties or damage were reported. At least 155 people have died in Tanzania as heavier than usual torrential rains linked to the El Nino weather pattern triggered floods and landslides last month. In neighboring Kenya, which had also taken precautions for the cyclone, a total of 210 people have been killed in flood-related incidents.
Well, dozens of people in two rubble islands reached the northern coast of England on Saturday, despite the latest move by the UK government in order to detain people before controversial deportation flights to Rwanda. More in the following report.
Dozens of people in two rubber dinghies reached the southern coast of England on Saturday, the latest among thousands of asylum-seeking migrants to make the risky sea crossing from France this year. Bobbing on the waves of the English Channel on a clear morning, the boats sailed across the narrow strip of sea separating France and Britain, with a French naval vessel following them until they reached English waters. Their largely male passengers, some of whom were in orange life jackets and waving, were taken aboard a British border force vessel off Dover. The arrivals illustrate the difficulties British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak faces on his pledge to tackle illegal immigration and stop the boats ahead of a national election expected this year. More than 8,000 people have arrived so far this year on small boats, with many fleeing war or famine and traveling through Europe to Britain, making the start of this year a record for such arrivals. Sunak hopes his flagship Rwanda policy to deport those arriving in Britain without permission to the African nation will deter people from making the Channel crossing. 5 people died in the attempt last month.
Well, with this we come to the end of our program Africa Today. My name is Amal Mukhtar. Thank you for watching.